Welcome in, everybody. This is your self-care staffing for Thursday, April 23rd, 2020. I am Lou Pascal. I'm the school social worker in the Manchester City Schools in Manchester, Tennessee. And today I want to talk about the idea of quitting as self-care. We have a big message in our culture around quitting, and that is something you've heard a million times. Quitters never win and winners never quit. Are there things that are difficult that are in your best interest if you persevere and don't quit? Absolutely. Are there things that you will be glad and you will benefit if you stay the course? Yes. However, as the quote that I gave you said the other day, one size fits all advice usually fits no one. So if we have this message that quitting 100% of the time is a bad thing, I think that's one size fits all advice, and it might not be what serves you best in a particular situation. So I submit for your consideration that there are seasons in life, and there can come a time to quit something every once in a while. So I'm going to give you an example of something I quit. It's not earth-shattering, but it'll just give you some food for thought. I quit listening to morning shows on the radio. They're supposed to jumpstart your day and be funny, and I don't find them particularly funny, and they annoy me. I know, I'm a monster. So instead of spending my time with intaking the radio morning shows, I listen to podcasts or audiobooks, or I just enjoy the silence in the car. So here are a few other thoughts about quitting. Keep in mind that quitting something that is no longer optimal for you may make room for something better to come into your life. If you don't quit the less than optimal thing, you won't have the capacity for the something better. So you may not have the space, you may not have the time, you may not have the money, you may not have the bandwidth for that something better if you're still holding on to that less than optimal thing. And whatever that thing is that you're thinking you could quit, yes, it was maybe the best thing for you when you began that. However, again, there are seasons, and it may be time to let that thing go. Having said all that, you have to know yourself and use discernment to decide if there may be something in your life that you need to quit for your own well-being. So here's your self-care check-in question for today. What is one thing that you could quit that would be a way of caring for yourself? So I'm going to answer that. Here's a way that I'm going to care for myself by quitting something. When I began making these videos, I wanted to share something funny with the people that watch these every day, because laughter is a great tool for self-care. I've been able to find something funny on most days, but it's a stretch on other days. And there's times when it's really not appropriate or doesn't feel appropriate to share something funny. If we're talking about something real heavy and intense, I don't want to make a joke about it and be lighthearted about something that's very serious. So I think by now I've illustrated the point of how important laughter is as a self-care strategy. So I'm still going to share some sort of something every day, some piece of media that speaks to the topic, but it might not be funny. So I'm going to quit holding myself to that standard to share something funny every single day. So here are some quotes. I have several today. The first three come from the same book, and the author, I'm hoping I'm going to pronounce this correctly, is Will Schwalbe, and the book is called Books for Living. So he says, "But I do worry that we don't offer one another enough support when we just want to quit what we are doing for no other reason than that we would prefer not." So he's saying, I think, that sometimes you just don't want to continue that thing. And he's asking the question, I think, how can we support each other when one of us needs to quit something, or when one of us wants to quit something, or just doesn't have the fire to continue to do it? Can we provide better support to each other when that's what needs to happen in someone's life? So here's another one. Often, though, the hardest thing isn't quitting, it's staying quit. So you may have had an experience where you quit something and you either allowed yourself to be roped back in, or people kind of got after you to get back to whatever that thing was that you wanted to quit. So that's a situation that occurs also. So keep that in mind. Here's the last one. It's of course true that everyone who succeeds didn't give up. How could it be otherwise? But it's also true that many people kept going years after they should have stopped. So those are some thoughts about quitting. And here's the last one. Had I known anything about the elegance of quitting at the right time, I would have made so many people, including myself, so much happier. And that was Ann Patchett from This Is the Story of a Happy Marriage. So, what I'm going to leave with you today. The song, disclaimer, I'm not saying that you should do what this person does in this song, but I think it's, when I ran across the title of the song and thought about it, I was like, that's really the greatest quitting song. That's one of the greatest quitting songs I've ever heard. And it is Midnight Train to Georgia with Gladys Knight and the Pips. So try that out for the song for the day. For the something funny, it's not going to be, this is funny. It's not going to be a movie. It's going to be a children's book. I love children's books. If you are an adult and you would like to read children's books, but you don't for some reason, like you think it's embarrassing or whatever, this is your permission slip to allow yourself to read children's books. So this is Betty Bunny Didn't Do It. And there's one particular part in it that just is hysterical to me. And I'm not always one to really like laugh out loud, but this one really had me just audibly laughing. It was funny to me. So, this is by Michael Kaplan. Betty Bunny Didn't Do It. So that's the something funny. And spoiler alert, Betty Bunny is going to stop lying. So that's something that she's going to quit. So if all hearts and minds are clear, I appreciate you guys watching this, and I will be back tomorrow with another video. Thanks.